Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire. And this movie is directed by Zack Snyder, and is currently on Netflix. And originally this movie was supposed to be Zack Snyder's Star Wars, I believe. I believe it just didn't work out, or something happened, and Zack Snyder decided to just make his own movie and just be a standalone film without it being connected to Star Wars. And while watching the movie, you can definitely see how it would be connected to Star Wars. There were some creature designs that I did like, and there were things that looked a bit different, especially if I were watching a Star Wars movie, because I feel as though if it were actually in the Star Wars universe, possibly it could be better, because there would be less to explain and you could get into the story a lot quicker. That's one side of me being generous on it, but at the same time, it's like, it's not a good movie either way. Like the end product that we got. And from the opening scene, I thought it looked a bit too dark, and I was thinking to myself, I hope the whole movie isn't like this, and sure enough it is, but it's not dark to the point where you can't see anything. It's just like someone forgot to turn on the lights, or maybe it's a little too dark for my liking, but wow, was that the least of the problems that I had with this movie. And none of the acting was good. I didn't feel as though anyone cared, and they were just kind of phoning in the performances. And there were some good actors that I did like Anthony Hopkins. I was excited to see what he would do, but he's barely in the movie, and he's doing a voice of a robot, and his character's barely in the movie. And Charlie Hunnam, he was a bit of a standout character, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of liking this, but after a while, it's like, you really just don't have anything to do. And what they do with his character is just so dumb and did not need to be in the movie at all. And why is this movie so long? That's all I kept thinking. It's like, this does not need to be 2 parts, let alone a standalone film, the first part being 2.5 hours long. Like, there's no reason it's that long. Really? Like, what do we gain from that runtime? Or 2 hours and 15 minutes, my bad. But still, there's nothing really to take away from it. Like, the whole story probably could have been told within 2 hours based on what I saw from this movie. Or you could probably do a miniseries and flesh everything out and make everything interesting, and that could work, but instead it was kind of a mix of both, and it was just really boring to watch. And there were some parts that I found to be funny bad, mostly when the movie was using slow motion for no reason. That stuff was kind of funny, and all of the characters talk and act like robots, and that was very distracting. As with a lot of Zack Snyder movies, like, I don't know why this is such a big issue in his movies. I used to not have that problem in movies like Watchmen, 300, or his remake of Dawn of the Dead. Like, those 3 movies, I didn't really have that issue, or at least not from memory. And it felt like he cared more, or maybe it's just like he was figuring out what he wanted, or maybe, I don't know, like, it didn't go this far. Like, ever since Man of Steel, all of his characters talked like machines, and it's very distracting. And I have to talk about how the movie's shot. First off, too many close shots. Second off, there are shots in this movie that are out of focus, and they were very distracting. And lastly, this movie has like, I don't know what lens it's called, but it's pretty much like, in the background, it's all blurry and you can't really see anything. And I just found that to be a very bad idea, because I can't really see the environment behind the characters. I want to see everything, not just with wide shots, but also, like, just stop using this lens that makes the whole movie look so bad. And for at least the first act of the movie, barely anything happened, and it was just boring characters talking about nothing, and nothing happened for the most part. And in the second act, it did get a bit better because some things were happening, kind of. And I was starting to have a little bit of fun, like figuring out how certain things would be used in a Star Wars movie and how they would be presented. I was like, okay, that's kind of a fun idea if it were a Star Wars movie. Maybe, kind of. But taken out of that context, it kind of makes it a bit worse. Like, it just makes it a bit more boring, in my opinion. And the music in the movie, I didn't like at all. And there were parts of the score that reminded me of the score for Man of Steel. I know that's also a Zack Snyder movie, but I still found it distracting. And this movie was trying way too hard to be cool at points, especially with the slow motion. And it did not capture that at all, in my opinion. There was also a creature in this movie that looked almost identical to Buckbeak from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Not even kidding, they looked that close to being alike. There were enemy soldiers in this movie towards the beginning that were scurrying around for no reason. The title, A Child of Fire, I don't know who the title is referencing. The main character, possibly? I don't know exactly. Couldn't tell you who that is. And overall, nothing really made any sense while I was watching it. And it was very boring, kind of funny at points. It got a bit more entertaining because things kind of started to move along, and that's about it. Not good. Don't check it out. It's not worth your time. I guess I'll watch part 2 when that comes out. Not looking forward to it, but hopefully it's shorter than this. Than part 1, at least. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, a 2 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Fugitive. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.